Welcome to Grit Channel. Anunnaki, Episode 9, Forbidden Archaeology. This episode covering out-of-place artifacts, suppressed discoveries, and Smithsonian theories. Forbidden Archaeology. In the world of mainstream archaeology and science, history is written through evidence. Artifacts dated, contexts excavated, conclusions peer-reviewed. But some discoveries refuse to fit neatly into accepted timelines. These anomalies challenge conventional narratives, suggesting that humans, or perhaps more advanced beings, possess sophisticated knowledge long before such capabilities should have existed. This contested realm is often called forbidden archaeology. It's a field that examines mysterious artifacts, ruins, and legends dismissed or suppressed by official academia. Many of these findings are categorized as owaparts, out-of-place artifacts, items that appear in unexpected locations or time periods, and have fueled debates about lost civilizations, hidden histories, and perhaps even encounters with beings such as the Anunnaki. Out-of-place artifacts. Owaparts are objects that defy conventional explanations regarding their age, composition, or technology level. Here are some of the most compelling examples. 1. The Antikythera mechanism, Greece. Discovered in a Roman shipwreck from the 1st century BCE, this bronze mechanical device tracks celestial motions with remarkable precision. It predicts eclipses, lunar cycles, and planetary positions in ways that weren't expected until Renaissance or Enlightenment science. How could ancient Greeks have created such an analog computer? 2. The Baghdad Battery, Iraq. As discussed in a previous chapter, this clay pot with a copper tube and iron rod is believed to generate small electric currents when an acidic liquid is added. Found in Parthian or Sassanid contexts, 200 BCE to 200 CE, this device raises questions about whether electroplating or primitive electricity was known in antiquity. 3. The Piri Reis map, Turkey. This 1513 world map, drawn by Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, depicts Antarctica's coastline before it was officially discovered and before it was covered in ice. The coast appears ice-free, which supporters of ancient knowledge argue implies lost polar mapping from a prior global warm period. 4. The London Hammer, USA. Found in a rock concretion reported to be 100 million years old, the iron hammer with a wooden handle somehow appears embedded in ancient rock. Mainstream geologists argue the dating is flawed, suggesting the concretion simply coated the hammer later. But debates continue. 5. The Dropa stones, China. Allegedly discovered in a remote cave system in the 1930s, a series of stone discs carved with hieroglyphic spirals are attributed to a space-visiting race called the Dropa. Mainstream scholars contest both the discovery and the translation, but the story persists among enthusiasts. These and other owaparts appear in unexpected geological strata or in early historical contexts. They raise difficult questions. Were they made by advanced civilizations? Are they hoaxes or misunderstood relics? Or is our dating system flawed? Suppressed discoveries. Suppression refers to the idea that certain archaeological evidence is intentionally hidden, ignored, or minimized by mainstream institutions, perhaps to maintain orthodoxy, control narratives, or protect powerful interests. Though often dismissed as conspiracy theory, examples of suppression or selective publication do exist. Researchers losing access, Certain archaeologists or researchers reporting anomalous finds have faced professional backlash or funding cuts. When their data threaten prevailing timelines, some are effectively sidelined. Restricted excavation permissions in politically sensitive or resource-rich regions like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, or Egypt. Foreign teams conducting digging must comply with government restrictions. Artifacts deemed politically or religiously sensitive may never be publicly disclosed. Inconvenient ancient texts, descriptions of flying machines, cosmic catastrophes, or knowledge of the stars found in ancient scriptures are often translated cautiously. Researchers who interpret them as literal evidence of advanced technology may be discouraged by academic circles. Anonymous whistleblowers. Some claim secret archives, like those of the Vatican, Smithsonian, or national museums, contain evidence of ancient high technology or preserved ruins. While these allegations often lack hard proof, they continue to fuel suspicions of organized obfuscation. Although overt suppression is difficult to verify, the combination of institutional caution, national agendas, religious sensitivities, and academic gatekeeping creates an environment where fringe findings are rarely taken seriously. Smithsonian theories and alleged cover-ups. The Smithsonian Institution, one of the world's premier museums and research organizations, has frequently been implicated in alternative theories related to hidden archaeology. Giant skeletons. Stories circulated in newspapers of the 19th and early 20th centuries about the discovery of giant human skeletons, 8 to 12 feet tall, across the Americas, especially in burial mounds. These reports were sensational but lacked verifiable evidence. Conspiracy proponents claim Smithsonian researchers discovered and concealed such skeletons to suppress proof of a race of pre-Adamite giants. Smithsonian historians attribute most reports to exaggeration or fabrication and note no credible specimens exist in their archives. Forbidden documents. Some believe the institution holds transcripts of ancient texts, such as tattered manuscripts referencing advanced civilizations or space travelers, that were never published. These supposed records are said to contradict standard history, raising suspicions that they were intentionally omitted from the academic canon. Lost artifacts. Allegations persist that artifacts recovered from private and indigenous collections were purchased quietly by the Smithsonian and locked away for public access. These would include anomalous metal or crystalline objects found alongside dinosaur remains or prehistoric stratigraphy. Suppressed researchers. A few scholars have claimed that their findings were downplayed or discredited to maintain the conservative consensus. While academic critique is normal, alternative researchers often interpret it as organized suppression, especially when funding dries up or publication doors close. Scholarly rebuttals emphasize that these theories rely on weak sourcing and anecdotal testimonies. The Smithsonian and similar institutions insist they operate under rigorous scientific review and that no widespread cover-ups have occurred. Yet the persistence of these stories illustrates how strong the cultural desire is for hidden truth. The case for Anunnaki influence. So how do forbidden archaeology and Oa parts tie into the Anunnaki narrative? Advanced knowledge, whether through ziggurats aligned with stars, copper tub tabletop devices, or precision stonework, traces of advanced knowledge appear consistent with what might be expected from Anunnaki contact or instruction. Lost artifacts. If artifacts bearing evidence of high technology exist but are suppressed or lost, they could be relics of Anunnaki presence or leftover infrastructure. Global echoes across continents. Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Americas. Myths and artifacts arise that hint at shared contact or influence, reinforcing the idea of a global Anunnaki legacy. Bridging eras. Oa parts sometimes cross the usual chronological boundaries, connecting prehistoric eras with more recent civilization. This supports the theory that either knowledge or beings persisted or periodically returned over long time spans, consistent with Sitchin's proposed 3,600-year orbit of Nibiru. Critiques and counterpoints. Before fully embracing forbidden archaeology, it's important to weigh skepticism. Dating errors. Many supposed Oa parts rely on dubious dating, either assumed stratigraphy or misunderstood geological contexts. A weapon found in old rock might have fallen into fissures centuries after the rock formed. Misattribution. Claims of giant skeletons in America often trace back to sensationalist newspapers or dubious secondhand accounts, not excavated exhibits documented by professionals. Hoaxes and forgeries. The Dropa stones, the Antikythera mechanism interpretations, and other alleged finds have been claimed to be modern fabrications or misinterpreted items. Occam's razor. Simpler explanations, gradual civilization, convergent invention, trade diffusion, often suffice without invoking extraterrestrial agency or global conspiracies. The tension between curiosity and credibility. Forbidden archaeology sits at the intersection of wonder and skepticism. On one hand, it asks bold questions. What if ancient humans had access to knowledge we've forgotten? What if the Anunnaki or other beings influenced early civilizations? On the other hand, it risks dismissing rigorous methodology in favor of sensationalism. Good forbidden archaeology, if there is such a thing, is not about conspiracy or sensationalism. It is about careful inquiry, critical thinking, and respect for evidence. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence, and many Oa parts fall short of that standard. Between myth and memory. Whether one views forbidden archaeology as a collection of misinterpreted curiosities or clues to a hidden past, it undeniably occupies a space where myth, memory, and possibility intersect. Consider, even mainstream archaeology acknowledges sudden bursts of cultural innovation, such as the rise of civilization in Mesopotamia or the rapid construction of pyramids. Oral traditions, legends, and myth cycles often preserve memories of real events. Earthquakes, floods, unusual lights in the sky that may originally have signified something extraordinary. Could some artifacts and stories really point to divine or extraterrestrial intervention? Or are they simply gaps in our historical knowledge, waiting to be filed by future discoveries? Conclusion. Forbidden archaeology reminds us that history may be more complex and sometimes stranger than textbooks admit. Whether those anomalies are misinterpretations, hoaxes, or genuine relics of advanced knowledge, they challenge us to keep an open but discerning mind. The Oa parts, the alleged suppressed discoveries, and the ongoing mysteries of institutional theory all underscore one thing. Our understanding of the past is provisional. While mainstream academia maintains necessary rigor, the fringe encourages us not to ignore anomalies just because they don't fit. For the Anunnaki and similar ancient astronaut believers, the hope is that one day enough evidence will emerge to confirm that humanity's origin was more than earthbound evolution. Until then, forbidden archaeology remains a provocative invitation to question, to explore, and to imagine that our past may be far more mysterious and anomalous than we've been led to believe. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe this channel for next video. Bye-bye.